Kat, and this story time video is about the time that one of my coworkers tried to poison me. Good times. So back in the day, I worked for a major retailer dressed all in red and khaki. I guess that's all I'll say about that. It's 2.5 years of my life I'll never get back, although I did meet my husband there, so that's kind of a perk. So while I was working for this retailer, I ended up being a front lanes manager. So what you do is you run around the front lanes, you organize stuff, you make sure your cashiers have enough change, you make sure you resolve any issues at the cashiers, you resolve any issues at guest service, and you basically just run the area of the store where everyone's angry all the time. I had been working there probably for about 1.5 years when this young lady began her employment with us. I don't remember if she was always a cashier. I think occasionally she would cashier in other areas of the store as well. But from what I understood, apparently she talked smack about me to other people for no reason, even though we didn't really have much contact at all. I don't know. Bitch just didn't like me for whatever reason. So I don't really care too much about impressing her. She was one of those scene kids that had a mullet. You know when girls had mullets? That really disgusting 3-year period there with the chick mullet. Ugh, they were so bad. And it wasn't just the mullet, it was they would have black hair and then bleach the ends or do cheetah print in them. It was just bad. It was not a good look. And she wasn't really one of the scene kids who was super into the music. She was just kind of super into the attention from dudes. So this girl must have had some serious daddy issues because apparently she banged 3 employees in the parking lot on her lunch break, and we were just always hearing really disgusting things about her. She was kind of a nasty person. Looking back on it, I do feel a little bit sorry for her. I don't know what her problem was. She was a weird person. So she didn't like me for whatever reason, and then suddenly, over the course of a week, she started being pretty friendly with me. And I mean, I don't really care, but I'm not just gonna be rude to you for no reason, so I was nice to her, and we just had a pretty average, friendly, professional working relationship. I was her manager most of the time, whatever. One day, she came in from her break, and she had a frappuccino with her, and she's like, I thought I wanted this, but I don't want it. Do you want it? It was a small frappuccino, and I mean, I barely had time to go anywhere on my break, and I was hungry, so I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Sure, why not? Thanks a bunch. So I drank about half of it, and then it sort of melted at my little at the far check stand over at the edge of the front lanes and got kind of gross, so I threw the rest away. And then it was finally time for my lunch break, and I suddenly felt very, very unwell. I had horrible stomach cramping. I started sweating intensely. It was above and beyond the normal discomfort that I had every day of my life because I had a tumor at this time. All of a sudden I started getting super nauseous. I thought I might puke, and I have a pretty intense phobia of puking. There have been times when I have obviously had food poisoning, and rather than vomit, I'll wait it out for a week. Thank you. I will will myself not to vomit and just stay sick because I hate vomiting that much. Because for me, my stomach, I don't know if I've got a literally strong stomach, but when I puke, I can hear my stomach slapping against itself inside me. It's so violent that not only do I projectile vomit every time, it also comes out my nose, and then I have to blow my nose, and then I smell it, and then I puke again, and it's this cycle of nose vomiting, and it's not... I just can't. I hate... no, can't do it. So I went home because I got really nervous, and I had some peppermint candy, and I had some ginger candy at home, and so I wanted to go home and get it, and hopefully it would make me feel better. So I went home, and it was only 10 minutes to my house, and I laid down for a few minutes, and I had the most intense stomach cramping. but I would not let myself throw up. So I just like drank a bunch of water, I laid down for a few minutes, I had some of my ginger candy, I had some of my peppermint, I had some peppermint tea, I made tea and brought it back with me to the store, and I went back to work, just, you know, all sweaty and cramped up like that. It's very nice. So I worked the rest of the shift feeling like absolute crap with horrible cramping, but you know, like I was so sick so often that I didn't really think that much of working through illness. So I worked the rest of my shift, and then 2 days later, I hear from another coworker that this bitch was bragging about having crushed up a packet of laxatives and stirred them into a frappuccino and given it to someone. Here's the thing about my body with laxatives. They don't actually make me poop. Can't make me poop unless you put one of those little things up my butt. It's like TMI, way TMI. But I mean, like, for some reason, laxatives had just like never worked on me. So, I mean, like, it could have been much worse, but she straight up poisoned me. Like, who does that? Who does that? I didn't even do anything to her. Tricks like banging people in the parking lot, trying to sabotage me, poisoning me. Yeah. But, I mean, like, I really had no proof. She didn't bring the frappuccino into the store until, like, right when she walked in and gave it to me, so she wouldn't have been on camera anywhere, like, crushing up these little laxatives and putting them into the frappuccino. Yeah. So, those were my good old retail days with my coworker who tried to poison me. So that is the entire story. I hope you enjoyed this lighthearted little story time video. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it. It really helps me out here on YouTube. Comment below letting me know what you think of this situation. Has anything like this happened to you before? I'd really like to hear your stories, because this is kind of like above and beyond crazy, especially since I never really did anything to her. I wonder where she is now. Just kidding, I don't care. Thanks for watching.